Indianapolis, the racing capital of the world. Since 1909, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway has been the undisputed pinnacle of the racing world. This is the place where legends are made and hearts are broken. This is the one race everyone wants to win. For the first time in its 54-year history, the SCCA National Championship Runoffs travels to Indianapolis. With nearly 1,000 entries in 28 different classes, the Runoffs is the biggest auto race in the world. It features the best amateur drivers in the country vying for the title of national champion. One legendary track, one epic race, one shot at glory. The SCCA Runoffs starts now. An absolutely glorious afternoon at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Great to have you with us here for our continuing coverage of the 54th running of the Sports Car Club of America's National Championship Runoffs. Our coverage this weekend being brought to you by Mazda. I'm Greg Creamer, joined by Jeff Lepper in the booth, Hayward Wagner down in pit lane. This is an amazing view, and this is what we have been enjoying all day long and will for the next couple of days, Jeff, as the cars come out running counter course out of turn one at Indianapolis and then head into the infield road course, and it has already produced some spectacular racing. F production is coming up now. I think this is going to be amazing.
It will be a barn burner for these sedan cars. It's quite a mix of F production cars as well. One of the second fastest production categories of cars that we have here this weekend, and to see the mixture of the Mazda Miatas, you saw the Acura Integra roll by, a Volkswagen Rabbit, and you go back to the old school MGBs and Sprites. It's going to be really neat. You see an old Lotus 7 down there as well.
Well, it's one of the oldest classes in SCCA national competition, and it has not disappointed in all these years. And Hayward Wagner, I suspect you're going to have a great show down there in pit lane as well.
Last couple of years has put on an absolute barn burner. The Daytona race is the stuff of legends, where we had multiple lead changes from the bus stop to the finish line. Last year you had a shortened race because of an incident. This year we have 42 cars on this field. Front row all Mazda from the Midwest. Second row all MG from California. But don't let geography fool you. These guys know each other very, very well.
Boy, don't they. A lot of these guys have been racing each other for such a long time. I mean, you talk about those two MG drivers in row two, the 77 of Joe Huffaker. This is a 25th start. Brian Lynn is 18th start. They've been doing this for a very long time. And, Jeff, this track has proved challenging. Take us around on our Mazda track map.
It is that down long, that big 3,500 front straightaway to turn number one, a hard right-hander back to the left in turn number two, and this really flat, smooth transition 3, 4, 5, 6, and 6A onto Holman straight there in the back into a hard 90-degree left-hander into turn number 7. And this will be your segment one time that you see highlighted right here. You can follow along at SCCA.com at the different segments to see where everyone is. And you make that hard left-hander in turn number 7, you have the S's in turn number 8, 9, and 10. If you get off rhythm in one of those S's in turn number 8, it's going to affect you in turn number 9. It's going to affect you on the right-hander in turn number 10. That's in a very important corner in 10 to come off there really good, because you're on acceleration, back on the oval, over a transition. Your car is loaded on the left side as you're trying to be hard on the brakes for turn number 12, which is a really hard right-hander coming back off the oval over a transition, hard left into turn number 13 that's greater than a 90-degree radius, into turn 14 and back on the straightaway to complete a lap here with our track map presented by Mazda.
You can see how wide this infield straight is. You've got the track, and then you've got the concrete off to the outside, which has been deemed raceable, and a couple of obviously different pavement changes and the like. It's called Holman Boulevard right down the center of the track here, and it is a very, very challenging racetrack. And Eric Prill in the Thursday qualifying at about 2/3 of the way through in his MaxtonsFight.org JPM and Hoosier Mazda Miata put in a 1 minute 52.091 lap and went to the pole by almost 0.3 of a second over Sam Henry in the 137. It was a solid lap. Henry also in a Mazda Miata. Then Joe Huffaker and Brian Lynn And Huffaker involved in that incident in that race last year, along with Steve Hussey, and so he's got work to do. And I loved Hayward's comment about the epic battle at Daytona, and Huffaker said one of the things he was proudest about that run was he said, I proved that on the banking at Daytona, a midget could go 143 miles an hour and be fairly stable. So this is going to be a fun one. There is your front row. Again, in the limited prep, newer cars, and then you've got the classic cars, many of which have been running in this category since the 50s, and it is all about to be decided. The run for the gold, F Production. Eric Prill leading him up to the green in that red and silver Mazda with the blue Mazda of Sam Henry on his shoulder, heading toward the start stand, going by the legendary pylon. It is race time at Indianapolis. We're green, 19 laps, and look at that move by Brian Lynn. He timed it to perfection.
Yeah, got a great run there, and he's going to be kind of swallowed up by these big Mazdas. You see Joe Huffaker down there to the inside, drafting Eric Prill. He's got the inside run for Prill, your pole sitter, down into turn number 1. The power drives right back around Lynn into the braking zone.
Yeah, and Henry ended up fading just a little bit, and look at that move around the outside. That's Charlie Campbell, I think. What a fabulous move by the 89 of Campbell to sneak into the lead. We were kind of watching, it looked like Prill might have the line, and Campbell just went right around the outside of everybody, and the 21 of Lynn ends up in third. But look at the VW. Talk about a start. Chuck Mathis up from 8th to 4th, but here comes Huffaker.
Yeah, he's going to go to the outside there. You'll see that little Volkswagen Rabbit trying to stick it to the inside, but superb run down there to turn number 1. But, oh, got to be devastating there for the Eric Prill to get back into second place, but a long way to go. He'll try to recover. Just a different size here. I don't know how you can even see one of those MGs in your mirrors with those sprites coming down the straightaway here.
I'll tell you, it's the first time I've seen cars go side by side this entire weekend through turn number 6. Great job by the 54 of Mathis and the 77 of Huffaker, making that stick and making it work, giving each other enough room. And look at Prill. He's anxious to get back to the lead, but Lynn is the guy really squared up beautifully coming out of turn 10. Ooh, and a lot of smoke emanating from, that's another midget, I think. Couldn't quite catch the number, but here we go. Look at this, Lynn to the inside. Prill has gone by Campbell, and Lynn goes with him, Jeff.
Yeah, he went right past him there, and you saw Lynn tuck in behind Prill to try to get that draft. And I'm not sure who that is smoking. I believe from that great start that he got, I think that's Rick Haynes.
Might be tire rub.
He's going over there. It could just be some, yeah, a little bit of tire rub as I got sideways. It was Rick Haynes, started back in 14th and worked his way up to a top 5. And that doesn't look tire rub. It's coming out of the center there. So, yeah, it's, we talk about that a lot in F Production. These the smoke coming out of that axle seals there, just they get up to pressure and they start spewing out. And if you don't have those replaced each and every time, it's just not going to happen there for you. It looks like he's having a problem there, but no affecting the performance at all. Just that the stewards see that, they're going to want to take that. As you see Brian Lynn and Huffaker side by side.
Boy, Huffaker had an absolutely great second half of that lap as he was able, to get a good run and clear Mathis, and then came right up and moved up. Ooh, we got a car spun right in the middle of the track. Trying to clear it right now. Cars elsewhere as well. A lot of dust and debris flying, but I think everybody somehow managed to sneak through.
Yeah, I think they got through okay. I don't see any more waving yellows there. They're back underway. Eric Prill, though, pulling out a little tiny bit of a gap over that, but you talk about Chuck Mathis there in that Volkswagen Rabbit. He's back in 6th place, but just a superb drive up there in that top 3.
Yeah, he's had a great run early here now, trying to rebound. Your outside pole sitter, Sam Henry, down to the inside of Brian Lynn into turn 7. And you've got to get a really good drive out of 6 to make a pass into 7. It's not like it's a tight left. They use a little more gentle turn in there, a little bit more flow, but he got it done early.
He did get it done early, and Brian Lynn now, the advantage for these MGs is they'll be able to draft behind the big hole that these Mazda Miatas make and see if they can make that pass down there to turn number 1. The early leader, the Chuck Campbell there, that number 89, looks like that was the car that had the problem there in that turn number 1. The right rear bent out a little bit. That number 23, that's Mark McAllister, and his Miata looks like his race is done.
Oh, Huffaker dropping the lefts as he's trying to move up and get around Charlie Campbell. And not quite able to get it done. I think when he dropped those lefts, it just killed his momentum. But look what all this battling has done. It has given Eric Prill a sizable little margin up at the front here. We'll see exactly what the official gap is. Almost 2 seconds for Prill. And then these guys still battling back there. Look at this. Lynn's going to come down and make it 4 wide.
Scary stuff here as you go side by side there. And a lot of respect from all these drivers. They race each other in the Super Tour all season long.
Yeah,
a lot of them traveling the full circuit, not just their local regions here. So they know how to race each other. They've been side by side before, as Campbell in second, Huffaker into third, and still, like you said, Henry trying to recover back there in fourth and Lynn in fifth. So really the battle for second is on in FP.
One of the ways you qualify for the runoffs is how you run in the Majors Tour. And so far this year, Charlie Campbell, check this out, 6 wins, 11 podiums, 9 poles. He has had a massive year in that championship.
He sure has. And you talk about Joe Huffaker and that number 77 midget, his championships, he's got 5 of them in F production, let alone the GT5 and GT left. So 3, 4, I think he's 8 championships now Huffaker has.
Oh, yes.
Ooh.
So look at that move as he sweeps around the outside. 9 championships total,
9.
I think, for him.
9 now.
And, yeah, exactly. And 13 poles, too. I mean, the guy is just phenomenal. And his family has an immense history here at the track. Obviously, his dad, Joe Sr., was absolutely instrumental for many years here in the Indianapolis 500, helping build the liquid suspension specials, the MS liquid suspension specials. Very involved here in Indy, and Joe said coming back here, he actually ran, Joe did a SVRA race here a few years ago in a Daytona prototype and had a lot of fun, and he said with my dad's connection here, he said this was just special.
Yeah, it's going to be very special if he can get on that podium or even the top step as well and have a medal around his neck with that history they have here. There's a good shot of that number 25 Mazda Miata, and that's Mark Webber, a longtime competitor here at Pirelli World Challenge, and I know it's always a good friend with us as well.
Oh, he is. He's one of the great photographers that is just an absolute car freak, does a great job. Check out the numbers here for Mark. This is his 56th start at the runoffs. Now, of course, he runs multiple classes, so it's not 56 years, but his 56th start. This race is his 570th start in an SCCA national event. Just remarkable, the longevity that Mark has had in this, and he is still just as passionate about it as ever.
Which is what the SCCA runoffs is all about. Kind of crazy to see 1,000 cars here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Waving yellow down there in turn number 1. Not sure what the problem is. And doing standing yellow is that Henry?
That's got, well,
no,
there's the number 5, actually, I think.
White and yellow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yellow and
well,
blue,
from the back, it sure looked like him as well. But parked there, and hopefully he'll be able to continue, because that's not a good spot to have a car. I wonder if that's actually the 51 of Ken Kennard, possibly, with that color scheme. Look at this on the rebound here. Henry now gets around Lynn once again. These guys are having a good little scrap. And Huffaker now with that second spot. Campbell's faded just a little bit. He's now back in 5th.
Yeah, dropping back a little bit. You see the lead that Prill has. Joe Huffaker has cleared Campbell and Lynn in that battle for second, and see what the lap time difference is between the two. The previous lap by, Prill was 1.1 seconds quicker than Huffaker, but now Huffaker is clear of those cars. We'll see if he's going to improve that time here. And now you start wondering, how do you start maintaining that gap?
Yep.
Long way to go in this race still. 16 more laps, which is an eternity, especially for a production car.
Well, and Joe, it's interesting. He said, with this being Indy, he said, I was lucky. He got qualified for this runoffs early, and he said, we've been meticulously working on this car. He said, testing a ton at Sonoma to get this car absolutely optimized totally, and that's got to be frightening, because guess where the 2018 runoffs are?
Sonoma Raceway.
Yeah, buddy, which means
Can't
Joe is going to have a weapon there for sure. But right now, Sam Henry has said, no. You're not just going after Prill. You're going to have to deal with me here.
Well, you saw that lockup that Huffaker had down there into turn number 1, and that really hurt his momentum down through turn number 2 and turn number 3. Huffaker trying his hardest to run down Eric Prill, and just a quick little brake lock up there in turn number 1. Previous lap by, Prill was only 0.6 of a second than Huffaker, so Huffaker did pick up the pace a little bit, but Prill still pulling away. 3.8 second gap at the line.
Boy, in the 54, the VW of Chuck Mathis just getting underneath Charlie Campbell and making that pass. So Campbell, it looks like he might be having a couple of issues, and moving into the picture is the 08 of Bill Hingston, back qualified in the 10th spot, and his Mazda Hoosier, Mazda Miata, is working his way up smartly now and sits in the 7th spot. with Kevin Ruck sitting in 8th in that front drive Acura Integra.
Yeah, and Kevin Ruck, of course, winning the championship in 2015 in F production there at Daytona International Speedway. And just got a chance to talk to Sam Myers and talk to Kevin a little bit earlier, and they said, you know, this is not really a front-wheel drive track. It's really killing us here being front-wheel drive. Another one of those drivers that's really looking forward to Sonoma next year.
Yeah, which really tells you what a great job Chuck Mathis is doing in that front drive VW. He's got that car working, but there is a look at Kevin Ruck. And of course, Kevin, two-time national champion, has a pole at the runoffs as well. And he can certainly get the job done. But as you said, he might just not have quite the best weapon here today.
You just saw, looks like William Huback in that Saturn SL2 just pulled off into the pit lane. Problems for him, and a couple other cars pulling in too. So these production cars, you know, you're allowed a lot of modifications. Still kind of a stock motor, but you can go through it. You can balance some. You can port matches. Basically, if you look at the regional stuff, oh, little shaky there from Henry and Lynn as they battle down there into turn number 1 as well. But we talk about the different stuff you can do. You can move some suspension points, you can run some lightweight control arms, and Brian Lynn really pushing, locking that right front tire up. There is 2 different prep rules. It's a prep 1 and a prep 2, like you mentioned at the beginning, where limited prep. Oh, huge fire for the number 22 Acura Integra there. That's Chuck Davis from Overland Park, Kansas, from HPD. It looks like he's going to be able to climb out, but
I think that's up on the oval off of the racetrack itself. He sensed the problem and was able to get it stopped, but now he's struggling to get out of the car, and that obviously, their great response by the IMS safety crews to get on scene in a big hurry. And I'll tell you, going back to what we were seeing with Lynn here, I wonder if now he hasn't flat spotted that right front, because that seems to be locking up fairly frequently. Let's go back and take a look and see just what happened. At first, I didn't think there was contact, but was there perhaps? There's the move. Huffaker getting underneath. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, no contact at all.
No.
Huffaker just bounced on the curb. I think that caused Henry to check up a little bit, and then Brian took advantage of it and moved down to the inside.
But I think Brian, when he saw Henry snap sideways, got him to brake so hard that locked that right front up, and that may have damaged that tire now.
Yeah, because he locked it up on the going through turn number 4 as well when you unweight that car. And once there is a flat spot on that tire, it seems every time he hit the brakes, it finds that flat spot once again.
Yep, it hunts for it, doesn't it? And Kevin Ruck, though, we were talking about the car not necessarily maybe being the best thing here, but he has found a little bit of speed here once again and is closing up on the back of this queue. Right behind Mathis is the 08 of Hingston, and Ruck now has taken some of that back. And look at this battle again, side by side. The 137 of Henry qualified 2nd, and Brian Lynn qualified 4th down into turn 1. Henry, a little tighter entrance here, and you can see Lynn trying to swing as far out as he could. He's trying to carry every ounce of speed he can in that bug eye.
And you saw Hingston there right on that back bumper of Mathis, as it looks like some cars here just trying to stay out of the way. They see the leaders coming through. That's the number 14 Honda CRX Mark Amita, qualified in the 40th place, just working his way through the field now. Our leaders there trying to just get around this facility.
The margin right now, Prill to Huffaker, almost 5 seconds, and then Huffaker now has about 1.5 seconds back to this scrap for Lynn. And Lynn now, of course, ooh, look at this move here. That is Hingston trying to swing around the outside of Mathis. There's Huffaker. You can see the margin. That 2nd and then 3rd is now Henry. And then look at this, 3 abreast. Hingston going for all the marbles here. Hope Mathis sees them.
Oh, I think Brian Lynn was heads up driving there. Just said, I'm going to want nothing of this. Just ease off that throttle, increase his braking zone a little bit, and live to fight another day.
Oh, look at Mathis up on that curb. He ran a little hot into turn 8, and he had to just make the transition. It was almost like an autocross crank of the wheel to get it set up into 9 and 10, and he hopped that curb, and that thing caught a little air.
You got to be careful, especially in the front-wheel drive cars doing that. You'll spin a front axle or a diff. We saw that earlier in some of the qualifying sessions, especially in our STL category that you'll see later today. Had that happen as Ruck just drops that right rear tire off of his Acura Integra coming onto the oval out of turn number 14.
And up onto the banking once again. And coming up behind Ruck, is that the 83 of Perona? I think he may have just made that pass. And here comes Hingston once again, this time down to the inside of Mathis. Lynn's fading just a little bit, and I think it's probably that tire, Jeff.
Yeah, you think about was really bad vibration. These cars are pretty nicely balanced. As looks like we are going to go full course yellow, unfortunately. I'm not sure what incident we have,
yeah.
and that could be for that cleanup of that fire for the car 22 of Charlie Davis, or Chuck Davis, sorry.
Huh. It's interesting because it looked like it was up and out of the way, but we are under a full course caution. That's going to absolutely kill Eric Prill because he'd opened up almost a 5-second lead, and to Huffaker, it is gone. And Prill has been in second spot at the runoffs. You listen to this: 4 seconds, 6 times on the podium, so 2/3, 3 poles. Hasn't quite been able to pull off the win. He had a big lead. Now he's going to have to do it all again. Well, we're under caution here as we are just shy of the halfway point. We're going to sneak away for a moment, take a quick break here with our coverage of the 54th running of SCCA's National Championship Runoffs. Our coverage brought to you by Mazda. Coverage of the SCCA National Championship Runoffs is presented by Mazda. Driving matters.
Every stitch is a part of me. All these shapes and designs express our devotion to craftsmanship. I want people to feel our passion when they touch it and when they drive it.
The all-new Mazda CX-5. Can you feel something without touching it? See something with your eyes closed. When everything is designed around you, the driver, you can. The Mazda 3.
Continuing under caution here in F production for SCCA's National Championship Runoffs, 54th running here at Indy. While we're under caution, let's check in and find out what's happening down in pit lane. Hayward?
Guys, a couple of items for you. Number one, Charlie Cable came down the pit lane just a moment ago. That car has hot brakes, and he was having some issues with it, wanted the crew to look at it. I was also talking with Bruce Foss of Hoosier Tire. He said that several of these guys are on the radial. The older cars, the lighter cars tend to be on the bias plies. The radials tend to do a little bit better on longer runs, and these guys are now past the 15-minute mark, so they're getting into an amount of time on track they have not had yet this week. So keep an eye on the bias ply cars, may struggle a little bit on this restart.
That's a very good point, and obviously, Jeff, we know bias plies tend to have a bit more slip angle, so you tend to spend a little bit more time sideways. They can heat up a little bit and the like, so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. And I can only imagine what Eric Prill yelled into his helmet when that yellow came out after building up a over 5-second lead.
Oh yeah, anytime you're out in that lead, no matter how big it is or small, and you see a yellow flag, you know, yeah, I'm sure it was a slew of obscenities and gripping the wheel and clipping on, but that's just why you're so passionate about racing here. And you see right on the side of that Mazda Miata, Maxton's fight, Super Max, as we call him there, with childhood leukemia and cancer. It's the fight for Maxton. Recovered now and clean, and can't say enough about that young man out here in the pits watching Dad race here today.
Now Supermax is fitting, isn't it? He's tackled that with just an amazing attitude, and I'll tell you what, the news, Randy Popes did the call of this race last year, and he said a couple of times, I think he's going to be okay. And the great news is that so far, the latest few checkups, he has been absolutely okay, and that's just absolutely amazing. It's been a tremendous fight, and they've been able to win it, and that's the best. Now we understand we're going to be going back to green this time, and we'll have to see how this plays out. And one of the things that we noticed on that start, Jeff, is if you've got cars packed right up behind you and you go green and it comes early on that straight, there's a lot of time for people to draft. So it'll be interesting to see, one, what Prill's approach is, and two, what Huffaker can do about it.
Yeah, I think Huffaker might be in the catbird seat here down at turn number 1. Does not have the straight line speed of that Mazda Miata, but that Miata, you can see, makes a huge hole in the air that little MG midget can come up right behind Prill. And if he can catch a good draft, make that bonsai move down in turn number 1. And I think once Joe can get around Prill, he's going to be a hard man to get back around.
So do you think that Prill coming out of 14 might shallow up and stay a little bit more to the right just to protect a little bit?
Do that and use the torque in that Mazda Miata against that that small MG midget to try to get that gap a little bit as well down the straightaway.
And I'm thinking Eric Prill right now is on the radio saying, hey, get to Sam's crew in third spot in that blue 137 Mazda and tell him we're both driving Mazdas and make Joe's life a little miserable. Would you just get inside him something?
Yeah, do anything you can. Please do anything you can. Begging and pleading.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be fun here to see now that both Mathis in that front drive VW and Ruck in the front drive Acura, if they've, worked those fronts a little bit too much, this caution might give them a little bit more life too.
Help them out a lot, but
yeah.
Don't count out that number 08 Mazda Hingston. He's worked his way all the way up, so he started back in the 10th place and up into 4th now.
Yeah, he's aggressive, and we'll see if this helps whatever was troubling Lynn too. All right, here we go. This is about time to get back to racing here. There's pit entry, and you can see Eric doing a little weave. I think this is all just psych stuff. Just going, don't get ready. You don't know when I'm going here. And now you hear the throttles come up, and look at that. Huffaker absolutely glued to the back as we are back to green on the run here. And we'll see now whether there's enough engine in Prill's Mazda to keep Huffaker behind him, or there you see it, Jeff. There's that draft you're talking about. Huffaker decides to go up to the high side here. It's going to be interesting. Can he sweep the outside? He's got speed. Oh, and he locked up just a little bit. Prill's giving him room, but Prill also knew that if I can stay here, there it is. He just was able to close the deal into turn 3.
Yeah, you try to do that over-under if you can, but it does not work, as there's Huffaker locking that right front up once again. Henry trying to pounce here to make it a Mazda 1-2. They go through turn number 5. The little kink down here to turn number 6.
Well, that little bit of lockup just sort of literally scrubbed off some momentum for Huffaker and gave Prill some breathing room. And the concern is that happens enough, you start to get those flat spots again. And so Joe obviously has a great feel for this car and what it does on track, and that's got to be concerning him a little bit.
A little bit, especially we saw that with Brian Lynn, and that's going to affect these MG midgets more than it will affect any other car in the thing, because they're all about momentum. You get that bad vibration, or you keep catching that flat spot each corner and each lap, it's just going to make you go further and further back in that field.
And as you talked about, the 08 of Hingston is racy right on the off here on this restart here, just hounding the 137 of Henry just a little bit. That's, I think, in a way, keeping Henry from really attacking on Huffaker as much as he'd like.
Looks like Henry able to pull just a little tiny bit away from Hingston, give himself some breathing room so he can focus on running down Huffaker. And just as I say that, you see Hingston in the braking zone just close right in, as Perona sitting back in the 5th place. He's moved up from 6th, got around Mathis in that front-wheel drive Volkswagen.
Yeah, solid run by Perona. Another of the Mazdas up into the scrap right now. He'd qualified 5th, faded a little bit, and is now right back in to that 5th spot where he qualified in his Brown's Oil Service Mazda Miata.
9 laps to go, so just almost to halfway when they get back to the halfway point. 19 laps, so just past halfway. 19 laps for 40 minutes, and Hingston down to the inside of Henry, and Henry just gave way to him. Going to see if he can do the over-under, but Hingston will just park his car on the inside. You just cannot get that done in turn 1 and 2.
Well, I'll tell you, Hingston has been really good on the brakes. Whatever brake package he's running seems to be working here. A little lock up there, just a smidge though.
Okay, that. I think that's. Is that Kennard? No, it's 83.
Yeah, it's Perona, I think.
Perona, yeah, Perona.
Ooh, look at him up inside now, side by side, he and Henry.
He wants that 4th place bad.
See him just get a little crossed up though. Ooh, who was that?
I think that was Hingston that dropped a couple wheels off there on the exit.
He is just wheeling it right now. You can see a little bit of a gap now behind Ruck. There's Kennard, and behind Kennard is the number 12 of the defending champion Walker in that Super 7. Just hasn't quite had the pace here, and of course this is a track where you need to have absolute grunt down those long straights, and that's the one weak point of the Super 7. When I talk about agility and handling, they own it.
Yeah, Sonoma next year. That'll be looking forward to. I think Walker's kind of just going, yeah, I'll give you guys this one, but come Sonoma, I ain't going to be back here where I'm at.
And there's Ruck sitting in that 8 spot, just really hasn't been able to do anything. Saw Mathis maybe take a move, trying it on Perona. He couldn't quite get it done.
Yeah, looking back and forth here, trying to see if he can tuck that little Volkswagen Rabbit behind that Miata and get a good draft down the straightaway here. We see a lot more cars getting closer to that little grass there on the exit of turn number 14. It was grass there, now it's a little bit of a dirt because the grass is gone. As here is Henry getting the draft over Hingston back. He moves back into that third place.
Now Hingston pops to the outside. And the one thing that's hurting Mathis a little bit is that VW clearly is quick, but it's got a huge greenhouse. And that obviously is just draggy.
Yeah, it just hurts you down the straightaway. You don't get the right arrow. But you want to try to get that draft, try to tuck in there. But even with the top cut off of these Miatas, that windshield, you just really get the brunt of the air right on your windshield in that Volkswagen Rabbit.
And Hingston, that starting to get a little squirrely. The car's starting to slip and slide just a little bit. And that not only allowed Henry to get by, but he's able to open it up a little bit. Now Hingston dealing with Perona on the attack and Mathis.
Boy, that last lap, Eric Prill sets fastest lap of the race, 1:53.007, about a second off of their qualifying lap, so they're still pushing it as hard as they can. 1:53.3 for Huffaker last time by as well, so they are on par here trying to run each other down.
I think Hingston's got a problem. I thought it was lockup, but I think that's actually something in the engine compartment is starting to smoke on Hingston's machine.
Yeah, just giving up the ghost a little bit there.
Yeah.
I got to think, I wonder if that's engine temperature here. A lot of these cars nose to tail, and you run them pretty high strung, but yeah, he's definitely low on power, so starting to pull some timing out of it, and affects you when his engines get hot.
Well, and I wonder, I mean, if it's something more severe than
brakes.
that, yeah, if it's something more severe than that, he might be getting, is it maybe some oil or something on the tires, because that car's been stepping out a little bit.
He's fighting it all he can there. As Ruck's going to get around him as well. So Hingston was up there in third and now back to 8th.
Up front, Prill has the margin. Well, last time by 1.4. Let's see what it is this time as he cycles through over Huffaker. Give you the update, and he stretched it by another couple of tenths to 1.6. So he is managing it just enough here as we are into our final 6 laps in F production at SCCA's Runoffs. Here's a good look at Henry. Again, qualified outside front row, and just hasn't yet had the pace to match the front 2, but he's been racing.
He has been. He's been right up there, and I think he just lost a little bit on that final restart that we just had before. I won't say final restart, you never know till the end, but that last restart, and to see Henry up there with the MG midget, and he's talking about MG midget for Joe Huffaker. He's like 6'8", or 6'9" is how tall Joe is, and he's running the smallest car in the field, really. And we even saw that when he was up in the old GT5 days when he was running his little Mini. So I guess I don't know what it is, a tall guy like in little cars.
Well, I tell you, it's almost comical to watch him get out of the cars because it just never stops. It's like he unfolds himself 3 times. But I'll tell you, once he's behind the wheel of that, he is one with that MG and makes it fly.
He was, and I said every time I got a chance to talk, I was going to go full course yellow again. Oh gosh, this is going to be just a killer for Eric Prill as he got one time, and you see a car pulled off on the side there. Not sure if that was damage or he's into the wall, but it looks like there might be some damage to the wall.
Well, I saw a white flag, but at that point, which means usually that there's an emergency vehicle on course or a slow-moving vehicle, and now obviously it has gone to a full course caution. So yeah, once again, a 1.6 plus second lead will evaporate for Eric, with Huffaker, Henry, Perona, and Mathis completing your top 5 right now.
I think that was Tony Mackey. I'm not quite sure, but in his Honda CRX.
Yeah, that could be.
It looks like he pulled off or had an incident there. We'll see what that is, with the field going to close back. And I said it before, I said every time I'll talk about Joe Huffaker, I can't help but apologize to him. I took him out at Thunderhill Raceway at an SCCA major event running my H production car, and just wasn't looking in my mirrors. He came on the inside of me, I chopped down in front of him, he spun to avoid hitting both of us and taking us out, and lost his race and allowed me to go on and finish pretty good. So once again, Joe, really sorry.
It's nothing quite so sorry as a guilty announcer, as a guilt-ridden announcer.
Paying that debt the rest of my life. So as long as they'll have me back announcing next year, I'll mention it at Sonoma.
Well, I'll tell you, and at Sonoma, you might be mentioning it while he's on a way to a gold medal, because I think he and that car are going to be something special at Sonoma, no question here. And just getting back to Eric Prill, he's a member of the management of Sports Car Club of America, so he's got such a connection to this club. Obviously, it's not just a passion; it's also a livelihood for him. And so those seconds, that he's had so many of here. Well, I'll tell you, you just know what it would mean to him if he would be able to hang on to this. And I mean, for everybody, it's huge. I mean, that's what being part of this club is about, is immense competition, but great friendships and camaraderie. And it'll be interesting to see the reaction, not just for Eric, but for everybody else, if he finally gets this. And I think a guy who might be as happy as anybody, if Eric wins, could very well be Joe Huffaker. I mean, he's a 9-time champion. He knows how good it feels. And he knows also how harsh it feels to come that close.
And he also knows the trials and tribulation that Eric Prill has gone through trying to get this win as well. So I think it'll be a very special thing if he can pull it through. Joe Huffaker, hey, if you can win number 10, it's going to be a special thing as well. And it looks like it was some damage there to that Honda CRX off to the inside. So they'll get that car cleared up as quick as we can. Or if it's in a pretty safe place, get the driver pulled. And you see the ambulance there waiting. So it could be a... we don't know what the condition is there, but we always hope for the best. As you see the field strung down Holman Boulevard here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. What a great facility, and it's special to have the SCCA runoffs here today.
Oh, it's incredibly special. And make no mistake, Huffaker will do everything he possibly can to beat Prill to a pulp to that flag. But if he can't get it done, he will certainly appreciate how much it means for Eric, to get it done. And I think that means we're going to be in for an absolutely amazing race. And don't count out the 137 of Henry. If he doesn't lose track, he's shown some speed. I mean, he could be there.
I think he can. I think I think the start and this restart is going to be the key. If he can stay up with the field, get a run on Huffaker and go to the inside, that might actually be the best thing for Prill.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also to kind of stay ahead there. So we'll see if that but Perona, though, we talk about him on the thing, and it's sad to see Hingston fall back, but Perona been on the march as well.
Well, I think he's the dark horse here, as to, he's shown some serious pace too. Had a shot there, the 71 of Stephen Layfield out of Abington, Virginia, and his 93 Mazda Miata. And it's one of the great things about this club is everybody is connected through their love of racing, through their love of cars, and their love of fun with cars. And that's one of the things that make this club so special. And Hayward, you're down and amongst it down there in the pits and paddock.
Absolutely, gentlemen. One of the guys who's having fun out there right now, Dan Thiel, in the 13th spot, knocking on the door of a 10th place finish. You say he was talking on the radio to you a little bit. What's he telling you?
Yeah, he's saying that everybody's having some tire trouble out there. He's getting a little loose. Sounds like everybody's getting through the life of the tires pretty good. But he's ready to go back racing. So
I bet there's about 40 guys right now that would like to see the go green, and one that doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. Eric, this is definitely not playing into Eric's hand right here. He's pretty quick and was able to build up a nice lead in the beginning, but we're happy that the yellow came out and gave us a chance to get closed up. Hopefully we can get back into the top 10 and get the Berg Racing Racer Inc. Mazda Miata back up on the podium.
Best of luck to you and yours.
Thank you.
Yeah, Daniel qualified in the 16th spot, and as you said, got right up there, was knocking on the door of a top 10, slipped to 13th at this stage, right behind defending national champ, Mr. Walker, John Walker. So having a good run.
Yeah, and John Weisberg there getting interviewed. He's going to be running STU later on in the weekend with his wife Dina running STU as well. So Big Berg Racing strong here this weekend. I believe 4 cars under their tent, and then out in a couple weeks at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca for the Pro World Challenge Touring Car finale as well for them. So a lot of racing here for a lot of these guys and gals all over the country.
Well, and that's the thing, you've got teams here and drivers that they do some pro racing and the like, and then they also do a full club racing package, and it keeps them busy throughout the course of the season, that's for sure.
And of course, with like Berg, he makes his living doing that, prepping cars, maintaining cars, building cars. Did the roll cage in my car. I know my wife's got to be very thankful for that, protecting me here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So, like I said, just that whole family club atmosphere of SCCA.
And we just had a shot, a little bit back in the order right now, but always like to just give him a shout out. Robert Keller in the number 29, the Swedish car specialist, Volvo, 1968 Volvo P1800. The Saint is out there. There it is, just an absolutely beautiful car.
Yeah, it reminds me of the E-Prod car of Bruce Ackerman.
Yeah.
Running over there on the West Coast, so that's pretty cool. And I kind of think, give a huge hello to old Randy Pope, seeing that Volvo out there listening live here. So Randy, we miss you in the booth and see what we can do, get that back. But I know he's a big Volvo fan, seeing that old P1800 out here on the track.
Well, I miss Randy in those fire-breathing GT World Challenge
S60s.
Volvos. Those all-wheel drive S60s were just something else, and man, could he get up in the wheel in those cars. So absolutely miss you, bud, and hope you are doing well. He's a busy guy now with all of the reporting he's doing and car tests and the like. Just wonderful.
Yeah, it is. That go to Motor Trend On Demand. You can watch Randy Pope's there as well with all his little videos. Kind of entertaining.
Almost gets annoying when another one is posted, and this time he's at some legendary venue testing over in Europe somewhere.
Driving that Audi R8
I know.
e-tron and all this else. So, yeah. It's jealousy, Randy. We hate you, but we love you.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't even say envy. It's far more than that. It's downright jealous. But just the way we're seeing the field reacting here, I'm wondering if we might be getting close to going back to green. Everybody seems to be getting a little bit more aggressive in scrubbing those tires up, Jeff.
Yeah, they're really trying to get the heat built up in this and try to get those tires clean to get back underway. And you see the mixture of cars back here. You got Volvo, Mazda, Acura, Saturn, a Datsun 510, a Honda CRX, all working their way through it. I believe that was that Tony Maki in his Honda CRX and that U.S. Guys Holdings. And the pace car lights are out on that Chevy Camaro here, leading the field into turn at number 12. So we'll go green this time by.
Oh boy, and we will be completing lap 15. So basically 4 laps to go. And for Eric Prill, can he do it again and open up a lead? He's been able to do it twice. Now, it's going to be interesting and fascinating to see if he can make it happen one more time. And what can Henry do? What can Perona do in those 2 Mazdas behind Huffaker? And then what about Chuck Mathis? I think that's just a great story here, that VW, front-wheel drive VW, having a good run here. Look at Prill's doing the bob and weave, and Huffaker is just glued to his bumper. He's going, I'm not buying it, and I'm not letting you get within more than a foot or 2 away from me here.
Yeah, you see Prill hit the gas pedal. Oh,
yeah. Henry laid down, didn't he?
Sleeping at the line. There is Brian Lynn getting a good run as well to the inside of that yellow midget. But Eric Prill got a tremendous start. Huffaker not going to be able to take advantage of that draft.
Yep, and that's on. Ooh, that was a touch right there. It's Perona and Henry. That'll be viewed interestingly here. Oh, and look at that start. Is that Walker? Who's come all the way up? Or no, it's the 4 of Morton. Okay, that makes more sense. Peter Morton also driving one of the
Lotus
Super 7s, and he's just been flying in this race. He's worked his way up now, smartly up into the top 6. That's a great race for Morton.
Yeah, we talk about not having the power here. He's definitely been working that draft down the straightaway, working his way up. Back up behind that in that number 6 place now. You see him working that wheel. What a great, I just love those little cars. They're such cool, neat cars. I got a chance to drive the late John Kelly and Pat Kelly's Lotus 7 at a autocross event, and those are just a fun handful little car.
Yeah, it's a 1962 Super 7. So it is truly vintage. And it's interesting, you look at the nose on that. That is what the early 60s Lotuses in Formula 1 looked like. That is right off of that chassis design, just basically threw some motorcycle fenders and some body work on it. And he's given it a great wheel up front. Prill has been able to open it up a little bit, and Huffaker has been able to drop Henry and Perona. And I think that little touch as they were heading down the front straight really hurt them with having any shot of staying with Huffaker and doing something here.
Yeah, not sure what that was about. I think there was just some close racing. Each of them probably just misjudging. You see there's some smoke now from Perona. That right front, you saw that car kind of get airborne a little bit when he hit there, as I'm not sure Henry, the handling on his car is proper right either, you know, so it probably knocked something loose. They build, you're allowed to modify the suspension on these cars, so they're lightweight control arms made out of aluminum. One little touch like that, and they bend pretty easy.
Well, that was a pretty good touch, as you mentioned here, so we'll have to see whether that's exactly the case. Mathis sitting right back there in 5th, but Prill at the line, 1.3, almost 1.4 seconds. He's opened up over Huffaker here, completing lap 16 of 19, and a lot of smoke out of the back of the 83 of Perona right now. First, I thought it may have been something tire, but it looks like it might be coming center car. Ooh, that's tire. Oh, and a touch. Mathis going to try and drive right underneath them all and gets it done.
Yeah, it just kills their momentum when that happened. It looks like Perona got in there deep, locked up that wheel, and just slid into the side of Henry. Now it looks like Hingston's kind of recovered from his earlier handling problems. Going to try to move the outside here around turn number 6 and then into 6A onto the straightaway.
Well, if that was some braking issues for Hingston, he's had ample opportunity with that caution to have those brakes cool. So that's breathed some life perhaps back into what he's doing here. But what a story now. Mathis third in the VW. Henry now trying to come back on Hingston, excuse me, and they're side by side. Hingston's not going to give it up easy here.
Side by side still through the S's. I didn't think you could ever do that anyway. The F production guys showing it can be done, giving each other just the right amount of room. Kevin Rutt gets a great run through the S's as those guys were stuck side by side momentum-wise, and goes around Hingston on the outside, and he's looking to try to get by Henry as well.
That was great, though. It was at 4 corners. They went side by side. You got to love it. You're right. It's not the fastest way maybe to run through the corner, but it sure is entertaining.
Slow. Your second place car is slow there. He saw him on the outside. He's pulled off. Oh, no. That caused Hingston to check up and lose some, but Huffaker is broke.
Unbelievable. So close here. And Joe Huffaker, as we said, 9-time national champion, qualified third as the white flag is out. With all the cautions, it's gone yet to that 40-minute time limit. So now Eric Prill has a big lead, and there's Perona who gets around on Mathis, and Henry coming after him as well. Ooh, Ruck locks up, hits the wall. He's broken, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if he broke something or had a brake caliper go bad or lost a tie rod, but he was all over the place. I think he just locked the brakes up and it stuck him into the wall there. See if he can recover. Boy, 1 lap to go, and the action is hot and heavy here, especially for that battle for second and third, the final podium spot. It's Henry's now.
And I think, I think Ruck is continuing, but I think that car's now, it's got a little damage in terms of suspension. It looks real squirrely at this stage. And it's going to be interesting to see here what Mathis can do, because he got freight trained a little bit. He sits 4th. And he needs 1 spot for the podium here. Here's Ruck. And that left front looks like it's got a little wobble to it.
Yeah, the left rear quarter panel is shut down on that tire, causing a little bit of a rub where he smacked the wall there on the left side. I guess the old adage doesn't handle great in the straightaways, because it turned right into the wall there for that Acura Integra.
Huge battle unfolding. This is the 83 of Perona second, the 137 of Henry third, Mathis in the VW in 4th. So we are heading into the final few corners. There's Prill up front. He's got a big margin in hand right now as he heads for the last time through turn 11 into 12. Here's the battle for the rest of the podium. Everybody being a little cautious, defending in, not wanting to open the door up in any way. Mathis trying to pull something off here, trying to figure a way around the 137 of Henry. Prill already through turn 14 and onto the front straight. Will it finally happen for Eric Prill? Will he get his first gold medal at the runoffs? He does! Prill and Mazda. Maxton's fight continues with a gold medal at the runoffs. And at the line, it should be Perona into second, 137 Henry third.
Look at Prill. He's got his both hands up, putting his hands on the helmet. I can't imagine the emotions that's going through that driver's head right now, trying for so many years, 15 runoff appearances. He finally gets that win. Super Max, your dad finally did it. How about that, buddy? Maxton's fight on the side of that car. Oh, it's going to be an emotional victory circle.
Oh, won't it? And you think about it, Prill often has been up front. He's broken from the lead. He's spun from the lead. He's been tapped from the lead. It's happened so many times. And this one, and even with Huffaker going out, Joe Huffaker did not have anything for Eric's pace here this weekend.
There goes Kevin. Kevin giving up a little touch there. I don't think there's anybody in this paddock that is not going to have a dry eye right now when you see Eric Prill come through here and get that win. Everybody congratulating
There's another
Eric
little
Prill.
tap here.
Another little tap as well. They just know that this was well earned and very well deserved for Eric Prill.
Yeah, this one is really a special, special moment. Anytime you win a gold medal at the runoffs is, no question. But when you've come this close for so long and you're so connected as well to this organization, to be able to make it happen, it's about as good as it gets. And you love it. Everybody driving the Mazdas, you know, there's a big Mazda tent all the manufacturers that are involved have these big tents, and everybody under that Mazda tent and that are out on the track right now, you know, that's just a little kiss when they come up behind you. That's a victory kiss, isn't it?
Yeah, Mazda doing a great job. You talk about that great. Yeah, there's that little Mazda kiss, the Mazda teammates there, but all hosted 1,000 people at Mazda racers and family and friends for dinner the other night. A lot of the manufacturers supporting this. There's a Mazda tent, Honda tent, Nissan has a tent for anybody that races those Nissans. You get your paddock space, and it's just that whole family environment here. And we speak a lot of family with Eric Prill here for SCCA and getting his first national championship win in F production.
Yeah, special indeed. And there's a couple of those beautiful Lotus Super 7s. Again, I'm sure for John Walker, the defending national champion, 12th is not where he wanted to be on this day. But still in all, you know, he is a national champion and had a great run at Mid-Ohio. And I think you're absolutely right. He's just licking his chops thinking about Sonoma.
Absolutely, got to wait next year, and yeah, there's always next year. That's all you can think about.
That's how you have to think about it, don't you?
This year at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, what a heck of a place to do it as well, to get your first national championship win as we complete the F Production Championship here. You see that hashtag Go Gold for the foundation there, the Maxton's Fight, Cure Childhood Leukemia. And boy, it's a big crowd down there waiting for Eric Prill to come down for that interview.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you what, you know, let's not forget, it's not just the drivers that are, you know, part of this national championship. It's every member in SCCA. It's their showcase event, and there's so many. That's the grid marshals that are helping guide the cars to where they need to go. Pit marshals, paddock marshals, and of course corner marshals out around the track. Timing and scoring. I mean, so many different specialties. Very trained people that have been trained through the SCCA ladder and learned their craft. And they are all here as part of their showcase event. And here comes Eric Prill. Absolutely, look at that. He is enjoying every second of this here as he makes his move and stops. This one is going to be very, very powerful, I think. And he's unbuckling and the like. What a tremendous story. Again, after 2/3, 4 seconds, and many, many times leading late in races and having something go awry, he is taking his helmet off, and this time it is a gold that will be draped around this man's neck. And as you said, I think everybody in pit lane is absolutely ecstatic. And Haywood, I know this means a lot to you too.
It does indeed. Eric, not once, not twice, but 3 times driving away from the F production field to take your first gold medal. No longer the driver with the most podiums without a championship. How does this feel?
It feels good. It feels good. I saw the first yellow, and then I thought, oh man. And then I saw the second yellow, and I thought, I did it the first time, I can do it again. And I can't believe it finally happened.
I noticed on the pace lap you slowed way down. Lots of people coming alongside you, lots of thumbs up. There was a couple little bumper bumps there. What does it mean to you to have this field show you that kind of support after this win?
I love racing in this class. These guys are just tremendous to race with. I love racing door to door with Joe and Sam all year, and just all these guys are such tremendous competitors and such an enjoyable class. And I can't thank Jesse enough, and my family and the staff.
Well, congratulations to you. You want to take one more lap?
Yeah, let's do one more.
One more lap for Eric Prill, your national champion in F production.
And this is the lap that means so much when they hand you that flag and let you go out and drive around. Lap of honor. Here are your F production provisional results. Prill, Perona, and Henry. And I'll tell you, Bob Perona was Mr. Aggressive in those last few laps, wasn't he? Chuck Mathis, a great drive in the VW up into 4th. And Kevin, a couple of front-wheel drive cars in the top 5. And that's good stuff.
Yeah, Kevin Ruck there, Hingston in the Miata back there. Peter Morton, the little Lotus Super 7 in 7th. Brian Lynn. Then you got Bednarz in 9th. And then Ken Kennard rounding out your top 10.
Yep, just a great day of racing here. And tell you, that battle at the end for those last couple of laps between the two Mazdas of Perona and Henry, I mean, rubbing mirrors coming down the front straight, and it just kept getting more and more fierce. And, boy, I'll tell you, that was entertaining.
It sure was. One of the best races we've had so far here today at our national championship runoffs. But there is Eric Prill, his wife, hopping in. Of course, I know Supermax sitting there on the wall wants to go in with his dad. A couple more years, buddy. You got to be old enough. I'm sure your dad's got more to come.
Look at that. Yep.
Of course, that flag, a memento all in itself to get to keep that SCCA Runoffs, and it's got that Indianapolis Motor Speedway logo right on it.
That's a good point, isn't it? That's one that's mighty special in and of itself, and that's obviously a big motivator. I mean, there's a reason that we've got almost 1,000 entries here, blowing the old previous record out of the water. It's Indy, Hayward.
Perona, while Eric was out for a little cruise, you were in a battle back there. The guys in the booth called you Mr. Aggressive on this one.
I really was. I really spotted everybody a lot of time there at the start. I got hit from behind right when I was making a shift, and it popped in between gears, and I just was collected at that point. So I really had to battle back. And I mean, you know, it's the Runoffs, and it's Indy, so we're going to give it everything we had. And it was tough. I had a couple of really tough passes to make, and made it tough on me. But I was glad to be able to get this car up to the podium. You know, this is all about IUPUI's motorsports program. These kids have done an unbelievable job building this car, and I can't say enough about it. I'm so proud of them. This is the first year with this car, and we don't know what we don't know yet, so it can only get better from there. I want to thank Brown's Auto Service. I want to thank Al Lewis. I want to thank the school. I want to thank the Speedway, Sunoco, Hoosier, Briggs Cunningham. I'm probably going to forget somebody. Spire Bikes, Bell Helmets. I mean, I'm just so happy for these guys to be able to get there.
Well, congratulations on the silver finish here in F production.
Thank you very much.
Well, he brings up a good point. It's the IUPUI engineering department and the mechanical engineering that have really put together that car, and that car's loaded with data that they use in practice sessions for the students to take and analyze as some of their school project work. I mean, it's a pretty special program.
Yeah, Indiana University stepping up to do that for that engineering program. So the IU, and that thing has got all these digital things. I looked in the bottom of the floorboard, and I'm like, wow, this thing looks like it's robotic going on here, but just a cool program. And those guys building that car. And here's the man of the hour, though, in F production, Eric Prill, getting that first national championship win.
I have to say quickly, because we'll get in trouble if we don't, the PU is Purdue University. It's a joint function, by the way. Let's get back down to Hayward and hear from our bronze medalist.
Sam Henry, a bronze medal. You got to share the front row with Eric Prill. Talk about coming onto the front straightaway here to take the green flag in this race.
Well, first I want to say hi to a few people. I know Monica and Nathan are at home watching. Enzo and Anthony, they're checking out too. But that start, front row, I was so excited to be on the front row with Eric. And Eric and I raced so much all season long. We have great battles. But I tell you what, I really blew it. I started in second gear, and I was off the cam. I should have been in first, and I could have launched, but instead I was in second, and I just got swallowed up. But it was good. I mean, it was fun. It just made for a real hard race. I would have liked to have got on Eric's bumper, and the two of us could have checked out like we've done all season long in our division. But it didn't work out, and boy, it was just a battle from flag to flag. I thought the three of us were going to get away about 6 or 7 laps in with Prill, Huffaker, and myself. We had a nice little gap back to the guys behind us. But we kept getting a couple full course cautions, which brought the competition back up to me. But it made for a fierce battle. It was good fun. Really enjoyed it.
Well, congratulations on the bronze.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Also, a special thanks to Mazda, Hoosier, and Hawk Brakes. The car was underneath me the whole time. So big thanks to all those people in the SCCA for putting on great events.
And thanks to Sam Henry for being a part of such a great event. And you take a look here as Eric is enjoying with his wife this lap of honor. And, you know, for Eric, this is a family affair from the fact that he got into racing because of his dad, who raced a Lotus Super 7 in the days, and that's what Eric started racing in. His dad passed away relatively recently, and we just got word that as his lovely wife got into the car, she handed Eric his dad's ashes to enjoy with him on this lap.
Yeah, pretty powerful there. You know, if that doesn't make your eyes water up and tear up, I don't think nothing will. And you're not a racer or a family if you don't do that, because that's pretty powerful there. We saw a Facebook post earlier that Eric Prill had put on there after his first practice session, and he was P1 in the qualifying session. He said, "Hey, Dad, I'm here. Wish you were here. I did it, and we're at Indy, and how about that? I'm P1. So now you're a national champion, my friend."
Yep, and he didn't lead into that first turn, but he got back into the lead in relatively short order. And as we take a look at some of the great moments from this race, and there was that moment, big sideways moment for Henry. But I'll tell you, just an emotional race and an entertaining one. And there was that last little bit of contact between those two cars, Perona and Henry, as they went off at the end of this one. So F production now in the books. The gold has been decided. Eric Prill, your champion, with Perona and Henry completing the podium. For Jeff, for Hayward down in pit lane, I'm Greg Creamer. Thank you so much. An absolutely special moment here. Coverage of the SCCA National Championship Runoffs is presented by Mazda. Driving matters.
Every stitch is a part of me. All these shapes and designs express our devotion to craftsmanship. I want people to feel our passion when they touch it and when they drive it.
The all-new Mazda CX-5. Can you feel something without touching it? See something with your eyes closed. When everything is designed around you, the driver, you can. The Mazda 3.